We are actually born to be great, to feel great. If you learn to control the breath, the life force itself. We are capable of becoming happy without the need of anything else. Unconditionally happy. But we are civilized to death. We got so much technology, and how poor we are in quality of our own lives. Thus the bacteria comes in, the depression comes in, because our primitive brain, able to fend off danger, is not connected. To reconnect, get the biotechnology going. I am showing this all through science, through this simple breathing technique. 30 breaths, fully in and letting go. We are able to create new neurological pathways into the deepest part of your brain that is expanding your consciousness. That is our purpose. You learn to be the alchemist of your own body and your own mind. After the suicide of my woman, I was the crazy guy in the neighborhood, alone. How powerless I felt. But now I am powerful, and I am sharing that power. That power is called love. You are born to be more than the normal standard, to be super, man.
Congratulations, Iceman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We've done it.
Good.
Now we go home.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go?
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is...
I love Wim Hof. This guy is the original Iceman who holds all the world records for submerging himself in the cold. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Everest in his shorts, and he's swam under frozen ice for 66 meters. Wim is like the original daredevil, but there's so much more to him because his breathing techniques and his cold water shock therapy can actually change your immune system, and he's proven that and taught people to use his breathing system to actually be able to control their own immune systems. And Wim believes that his methods are the solution to this problem we have as humans in a modern world, the depression we face, the problems with our bodies. And I think he actually could be right. And I love spending time with him. It's the second time he's been on London Real. And he's now asked me even to climb Kilimanjaro with him, probably wearing only my shorts, to be continued on that one. But Wim is a special guy. His methodology is incredible. He's known all around the world, and I just think he's gonna get bigger and bigger because we need to embrace his ideas and see if we can change our own physiology and our own mental state. So sit back and enjoy the incredible energy of Mr. Wim Hof. This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Wim Hof, the Dutch adventurer and world record holder known as the Iceman. You have climbed Mount Everest and Mount Kilimanjaro wearing only your shorts. You've swam underneath ice for 66 meters and run a half marathon above the Arctic Circle barefoot. Your Wim Hof method combines cold therapy and breathing techniques to control the immune system response, stimulate endorphin production, and master the body and mind. Today, you travel the world teaching your methodology and spreading your ideas on the power of the cold. Wim, welcome back to London Real.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you, man.
Yeah, it's nice to see you again, Brian.
It's been 4
Maybe
years.
I call you Brain
Yeah, that's
instead of, change a couple of letters.
That's fine with me. Last time you were here, I hadn't really dove into your breathing techniques. And I remember you made such an impression on me that I walked outside and went to a playground and I sat and did the breathing exercises myself. And after about 15 breaths, I was like, uh-oh, I don't think I should continue. But I kept going and I went to like 30 breaths and I was completely blown away by what happened. And I kept doing the practice. I started going into the cold water. And here in London, we have Hampstead Heath, and there's a cold pond. And I go there every Saturday now and jump in the cold water. I do the breathing afterwards. And people come up to me and they say, "Are you doing the Wim Hof technique?" And I say,
Wow.
"Yes."
Wow.
And so it's just been so powerful for me. So thank you for that stuff. And just
Great.
with the confidence to go into the cold water. I've had some stressful moments at London Real. And a lot of times I'll get in the cold pool and it's gone.
Amazing, eh?
So it's been powerful. So thank you for that. Tell me, Wim, the last 4 years has been crazy. Every time I check your social media, you're traveling somewhere in the world, hanging out with a new celebrity. Everyone I know talks about your techniques. They use your Wim Hof Method. How do you explain how this has become so popular? Why is this such an important thing to people? And when they try it, it seems to change their lives. Can you even explain how this got so popular?
Yeah, amazing. I think the last study shows a lot, Darren. What I always suspected and knew and believed is that the human psychology is able to master the physiology. So that sounds like brain over body, mind over matter. And that was always there, somewhere, but not within us. So I made it physical. I showed first 6 years ago how to do that with the so-called autonomic nervous system, not to be influenced by at human will, according to the scientists. And then I showed in a comparative study that a group of people could, within a couple of days, do things thought of impossible by humans. That was amazing, because that changes the paradigm. That changes already, hey, if that is possible, what else is possible? What do we lack in? What do we actually seek in life? That is happiness. That is strength. That is health. And my journey is to show that beyond belief, beyond doubt, scientifically endorsed, that we are inborn with the capacity to handle our own happiness, which is the hormonal system, our own health, which is the immune system, and our own energy or power, which is on the cell mechanisms. And I am showing this all through science. So I made it tangible. That what was out in the open now is within our conscious choice. I make it so visible, and that's my credit, is that I make something that was always there, conscious and aware to everybody in the world. And thus, I created a sort of a platform where people are able to make a non-dogmatic choice to become happy, strong, healthy. We have shown this already scientifically, how to tap into the immune system, how to tap into the hormonal system, and how to tap into cell level. And we are doing the study right now on the DNA with top researchers. Recently, we had this new study showing how to deal with stress mechanisms. If we name one problem in the world, and especially in the West, it is stress. And we psychologically are not able to prevent our bodies from the impact of stress. We suffer from the stress. We can only go as far. Now, what would happen if we would have a psychology that is able to control the physical impact of stress upon our bodies and mind, mental stress, emotional stress, physical stress, bacterial stress, and changes inoculated That's where I am. And now, why it has become such a success in the world is because it is scientifically endorsed. So there is no speculation about it. And it is accessible and very effective within a half hour.
Right.
We are able to take over what actually is ours. And that is our happiness, our strength, and our health, and to fend off stress mechanisms. And that's what we have shown, how to tap into the stress mechanisms in the brain.
Let's talk about some of the things you did, because you first started breaking world records for spending time in the cold. And people are like, who is this guy? And you'd spend an hour in the cold, and an hour and a half in the cold, and an hour and 45 minutes in the ice. And then you went and did this immune system study with I think a university in Holland, where
Radboud University. Yes,
they injected you with like an E. coli that would normally cause a violent physical reaction, and with your breathing technique, you had no reaction, and it was scientifically proven, right?
Yes.
Then you went and taught, I think, 10 random people to do the same thing, so it wasn't just you being a genetic freak.
Yes.
So this is slowly people starting to understand, wow, there's science here, there's science. And now you've done more of these studies.
Yes. We reproduced that study, which fundamentally changed the books in the university, namely that the autonomic nervous system can be deeply influenced, and that after 16,134 same experiments, a controlled endotoxin experiment, wherein everybody was injected with the E. coli bacteria, which makes the people sick between 3 and 6 hours. Very sick, like uncontrolled shivering, fever, severe headaches, overall muscle ache, backaches, things like that. Really sick, but controlled. It's after 6 hours, it goes down and you become normal again. It's a controlled experiment. So more than 16,000 people had undergone the same experiment, the same injection of the bacteria, and nobody could fend off the reaction on the immune system caused by the injected E. coli bacteria. And that was like known in science. Yeah, that is because we have no control over the immune system, which is related to the autonomic nervous system. We have no control over that. And then suddenly 12 people show 100% score after 4 days over the immune system and activating deeply into the autonomic nervous system. That fundamentally has changed our beliefs and insights and understanding of what we as humans are capable of within our bodies. That was only the start. We reproduced that study with more people, and we got the same results.
You taught them your breathing techniques.
Yes.
They got injected.
Yes.
And they were able to not have
no symptoms of fever, no uncontrolled. They felt okay. They began to make jokes like, that must be a sort of placebo or nocebo or whatever. It must be sugar water because the E. coli bacteria is not here.
And they were doing the Wim Hof breathing method every 30 minutes for 6 hours, or you?
I always say, do it as much as you feel you need.
Okay.
These breathing techniques enable you to go deeply within your physiology, and if something is wrong in your physiology, that is, for example, an injected bacteria, then you are able to tap into your own physiology and get rid of the intruder, in this case, the bacteria.
Right.
Are we built like that? Yes, we are built. That fundamentally changed our perspectives and understanding of what we as humans are capable of. Yeah, that is a result. And now I'm going on since the last time I told my dramatic story of life, and it was dramatic, etc. And I was incapable after the suicide of my woman in '95 because of being schizophrenic, manic depression. Right now I'm changing the psychiatric insight of what we as humans with our conscious will are capable of in fending off, say, depression, psychosis, fear, trauma, PTSD, anything. We are able to tackle the terrorist because the real terrorist is inside.
Yeah.
And we are able to tackle that. Through what? Simple techniques of breathing makes you a possible alchemist. The alchemist within. It's not out there. We don't need gold. We need to become the golden man, the golden Jew man. We need to radiate. We need to be like the sun, the corona, to become the king, the queen, as we are, and feel it that way. In that way, we radiate that energy and we bring prosperity for everybody.
But most of us have been taught our whole lives, Wim, that we got to go to the doctor and take a pill to get over these things. And even the medical community and the pharmaceutical companies, like, they all tell us that. They would never say all you have to do is breathe, or as you would say, breathe, motherfucker, right?
Yes.
Like, for most people, that they would never believe that could, cause all these solutions, immune system response, stress, all of these things.
Yes, it's like we now have shown how to tap in. It's like the mechanisms, and it has a button. And you can increase the volume of that. If you don't hear yourself from the inside, increase the volume. If you are not able to connect with that what is going wrong within your own body, using your own mind, then something is wrong. We need to connect on deeper levels, especially with the nowadays stress, radiation, with neurological stress coming in every day, etc. We have to learn to regulate all this. We have all the tools inside. We are born with them, but we should learn how to use them, and with that, bring peace, bring happiness.
Is part of the problem, Wim, that we're born into this world of comfort and we're seeking even more comfort? And so, part of what you teach is to stress the body. Like, when I first get in the cold water, it's hard. I told you when I was doing the breathing techniques after you left last time, I thought I should quit after 15 breaths because it felt, my fingers are getting tingly. It felt almost like a DMT experience. That's what it felt like to me. Is that one of our biggest problems now? Is it we're too comfortable?
Yes, I got a friend, Chris Ryan, who wrote this. He's got this T-shirt and it says, "Civilized to death." And I agree with that. It is what it is. Real comfort is going out of comfort and feel your body that you are in control, even when the severest of stress is ongoing. When you are capable of doing that, then you really bring this deep connection, deep understanding, deep feeling within. And with that, you learn to regulate even within the stress of the daily life, and in any shape, could be mental, could be physical, could be bacterial, how to handle with that. We lost that connection because we have chosen to regulate everything through air conditionings and heatings, and thus there is no stimulation anymore upon our bodies. There's no stress because we live in a destimulative behavior, and that is like a muscle not trained. And our neurology needs activation, needs stimulation, and the weather before in the prehistorics did it.
Right.
That was the cold and the heat and the pressure and the danger.
All the time.
And now the dangers are still there, only our bodies weakened. We use extensions, tools to enlighten our lives, but forgot who we are inside.
Right.
And that now, that's why I'm here. If we are able to shoot people to the moon, and we got all the technology, then why not learn how to guarantee happiness, strength, and health right here on the earth? It's time.
And there's another problem, because now we can open up our phones and we can see 100 things that scare us now, right? War here, nuclear bombs here, and Democrats and Republicans. So now we have even more stressors, and yet our body's not ready to deal with it. And we don't know how to deal with stress, except we put a pill in our mouth, right? Or we smoke something, or we shop, or we watch the Netflix.
Yes, I think we lost we lost the deep connection, and that is deep. Last time I showed in this study how to enter into this area, this deep area within us, the deepest part of our brain. We lost that connection. And that's the connection with the brainstem. The brainstem, and with that even deeper, is the periaqueductal gray hemisphere. And it's where the cannabinoids and the opioids are. There is an opioid crisis going on, and a lot of people feel depressed, and they cannot enter into the opioids endogenously, nor into the euphoric hormones called the cannabinoids. They cannot. And I know how to do it.
Because we have all those receptors in our bodies.
Yes.
Because we used to know how to produce them endogenously.
Yes.
Except these days we don't, so we have to take them orally.
Yeah.
And that gets us into trouble.
There you are.
Okay.
If we bring people to the consciousness that they are actually built to be able to enter into the deepest part of the brain, and with that, actually any other part as well, and that's the power of the mind. If we are so de-stimulated all the time with these stresses, filling up with air conditioning, cars and this and that, and then these deepest parts are not connected neurologically.
Okay.
And so what I say, technology is great, but also get the biotechnology going. And that's your own brain I'm talking about. And that brain is the seat of the mind. And the seat of the mind you should learn to control, to walk, to make distance. You know, it's a little child. There's nothing wrong with a little child in your arms, but it's not able to yet walk because the neurological pathways with the midbrain, the motorical brain, and their legs is yet not established. But in due time, it will happen. Right. Likewise, I say to everybody, we are able to create new neurological pathways. It's a born with right to do that, to expand your consciousness, perception, neurology into the deepest part of your brain and become the master not only of the deepest part of the brain and connect data, with any other part that is expanding your consciousness. That is our purpose. The soul wants to express. And there we are, there we come in. And we are never taught in schools how to do it. Now, I show this in brain scans that we all are born with the same capacity neurologically to enter into any part of our brain. We have, since the last time, I've shown in brain scans how to activate 100% of the brain.
100%.
100%.
Because aren't we told we're only using 10% of our brain, Wim? Or 20?
They say 14. I think they do not really know. Maybe it's 16, maybe it's 15, but nothing really more. Consciously, that we are able to activate parts of our brain only for that percentage. And I say, through these breathing techniques, done the right way, we are able to make the blood flow and the neural activity going in all the brain. That's one. Then the blood flow is able to go, it follows the neural activity, right. And thus it gets everywhere. Is when we are able to go past our perceived neurological limits, conditioning of our brain into any other part. Now, we have been taught in schools always history, mathematics, and language, and those have certain patterns. And they keep on, they ask for blood all the time. We are thinking beings all the time. But where is the being, just being? Where is the empathy? Where is the happiness, the strength, and the health? Those are parts of our brain. We should not be only thinking all the time. We should know and feel what is the soul and understand it through the seat of our mind, which is the brain. And technically, we can now show in brain scans how to enter into the deepest. And so if we are able to go into the deepest, where else can we not go? So we have to go back to the new threshold of the new dimensions of how to acquire the power of our own mind. When we live in a system wherein we learn how to serve the system, but where is the soul? Where is the full capacity of our mind? Are we less than somebody else? Is one person less than somebody else? That is the system where we live in right now, still. And I say, it's time, guys, that we become accountable for who we are and what we are. Because this beautiful place, most beautiful place in the whole of the universe, is right over here. Let's bring harmony. Let's bring love. Let's bring power to everybody.
And everyone can do it by starting to access using their breath.
Exactly.
And they can start these techniques and start going on a journey to where they can learn more just about their consciousness, right? And then once you start activating it through your breath, you can start paying attention to it all the time, right? And you become a different person.
Absolutely. First, let's bring to the understanding of the viewer, of the listener, that we are built with the capacity to neurologically grow into our brain and grow like excited children. That is the feeling of life should be, instead of depression. For God's sake, depression, what is that?
It's a big problem these days.
Yes, it is a big problem, and and we got so much technology, and how poor we are in the quality of our own lives.
And that's the problem, because we're looking for technology to fix it, not physiology.
Exactly. So I just recently, a couple of months ago, was at SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX, Elon Musk company,
yes,
trying to put the rocket on Mars. And put someone on Mars. Okay.
I was giving a masterclass on bioengineering, not on space engineering. I say, if we shoot people to the moon, that's maybe great, but if we can't guarantee our happiness, strength, and health, then we should do some bioengineering and go into this space here and invade it in a positive way, consciously, and becoming the masters over our innate capacities.
Did they pay attention when you talked?
Oh yeah, they loved it. They loved it because they got a lot of stress when a mission is going on.
Yeah.
And they almost all fall sick afterwards. And I showed them how to get into the stress mechanisms, to master it, and to not become sick, and being able to perform and to have a nice life.
I love it. Wim, can you take me through one round of breathing, please? Just so people can see what we're talking about. And then if they want to go deeper, they can go see the Wim Hof Method. I know you have a free app and they can really understand it, but I just think it would be powerful for people just to see maybe me do it or you do it, and then they can just see also how simple it is. They just have to take the first step. So, do you mind? Can we do it?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
That is great.
Do we need a timer or something? Or good?
To get it with a timer.
Okay.
I got him on airplane mode.
Okay, all right.
So, you got a timer?
I got a timer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
How long do we want? Let me see. Okay.
No, we start when we have no air in the lungs.
Okay.
But first we do 30 breaths.
30 breaths. Okay.
With that, just follow it. We got all the science done. It does amazing stuff in the body. We are blowing off carbon dioxide, make the body alkaline, get into the lymphatic system. There's so much happening here, right here. We will go into the deepest part of the brain. We will go into the bone marrow. We will influence the DNA, and all because of a very simple technique. You better breathe. And yes, we got this t-shirt and it says freeze on one side, and then you turn it around and it says breathe, motherfucker. And it is as simple as that. How to change the alchemy, your biochemistry, both in the brain and your body. Just follow this. So you sit.
Am I timing? Not till.
No,
okay.
until
Not
we
till
finish.
Go. Okay.
We go for 30 breaths.
Yeah.
Fully in and letting go.
Okay.
So you take them fully in. This is fully in and letting go.
Through the mouth.
Simple, eh?
Through the mouth.
Mouth, nose, ears, asshole. It doesn't matter.
Any hole will do.
Any hole doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Take it easy. It is simple. Take it light and do it all.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, here
there
we
we
go.
go.
Okay.
Fully in.
Okay.
And letting go. Fully in. Letting go. I'm going to guide you more. So we got 25 more. You're probably going to feel tingling. It's good. Just go on. Carbon dioxide is being blown off. Go like Brian. Fully in, letting go. Fully in, letting go. Body is becoming alkaline. Carbon dioxide goes down. Yes. The adrenal axis is coming into play. Amazing how the body is going to reset. Oh, he's going good. Yes. You guys, you all see it is simple, yet very effective. Use your life force. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fully in. Fully in and letting go. And stop. No smuggling. Tingling is there.
Tingling's
Light
there.
head.
The
Don't
tingling's
talk.
there.
Don't tick. After the out breath, you stayed. There you are. Just relax. Be the witness. Must feel a rush in your brain, in your body. The tingling is there. Hemoglobin is going up. That is what makes the tingling. It's your nervous system at work. We are going into the autonomic nervous system, slowly but surely. Why? Because we don't breathe after the out breath. The deepest part in the brain is noticing there is no oxygen coming in. He is not breathing. That is the primitive brain. And then the primitive brain makes a signal to the adrenal axis. That is hypothalamus, pituitary gland, adrenal glands. And it resets the body. He's 115, 120 almost, without having a need to breathe. Whenever you feel the need to breathe, you take him fully in and hold. But not yet. Yes? Take him fully in and hold. Hold. Close mouth and squeeze to your head and have a nice time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Okay, relax. Whenever you do this, this is of course entering without breathing after the out breath. It's very stressful for the primitive brain, yet you felt very comfortable. Mm-hmm. What happened was that you produced more adrenaline here, sitting like this, than somebody going into its first bungee jump. It has been compared in the blood samples showing that this technique makes the body's adrenal axis go more than somebody going into its first bungee jump. That means a reset of the body. Because the principle of our primitive brain, our prehistoric brain, was to fend off danger. And danger can come in many ways nowadays, but we don't see it, we don't feel it. We are not connected. Thus it doesn't work. Thus the bacteria comes in, the depression comes in, the virus comes in, the oxidative stress comes in, and it does all its negative work. And we do not know how to fend it off because the deepest part of the brain is not connected. And this is the way to reconnect with the deepest part of the brain. Thus it will help you during the day when stress comes in. When you are off guard and doing your work, then still your primitive brain is able to detect all the stresses and to fend it off.
And you took me back down to that lizard brain there. I mean, that's what you did.
Yes, sir. It's right. And if you do another round, now you had 135. If you were to do another round, you would go to 215 or 230 and then 3 minutes. It's amazing.
Without having to breathe, that's that pause.
And without air in your lungs.
Right.
And that is asking for the most of stress possible. Because we can be without food, we can be in the cold, we can be in the heat, but without breathing, only a couple of minutes. So we went very controlled, and you felt okay, like nice.
Felt nice, yeah.
Like parasympathetic nervous system activity is going on, which is at peace, deeply within, a rush, and creating the most of stress possible. It's almost contradictory.
Yes.
But this is the way how, not to trick, but how to deal with the mind. And the deepest part of the mind is also the seat of the emotion. This is what you learn to appease. So people with depression, with psychosis, with all kinds of PTSD, fear, trauma, all those things hidden and bothering the person in life, they are now able to appease all that by going into the deepest part of the brain and learning how to regulate through this simple breathing technique. Is that possible? Yes, it's there.
But if you had told someone this 10 years ago, everyone would have thought you were crazy.
Exactly. And now the professors with whom I did the last study, they say this psychology over physiology, brain over body.
Right. Which we've always talked about mind over matter, but we've never seen the scientific proof.
Exactly. And this is what we have shown now in brain scans. You see robust activity in parts of the brain thought of inaccessible by humans. And let it be the seat of the emotion. So they say, we found the compelling evidence of the key components of the autonomous processes in the brain. Autonomous is outside of our will. Now we found the key components and the compelling evidence thereof related to mood regulation. That's emotion. And emotion is always dampened through mental stress, emotional stress, daily stress, financial stress, bacterial stress. All the stress in the end make our emotion dampen, go down, and we can't do it. Actually affects our hormonal homeostasis in the brain, causing depression. Because it is dopamine, serotonin coming together. Right. And now because of the stress, one or the other goes down, and that is depression. Then we feel bad, logically, because the connection is no longer there. Now we are able to re-regulate that connection, and with that, we become happy human beings, like in control and at peace, and with the will and wanting to go ahead with life and meet your dream state of being, realize your dreams. It's all there. And the simple thing is, through drama in my life, I found this. And now, then in 95, when I lost my wife.
Can we talk about that? Because that's what brought us all this.
Yes.
A deep tragedy for you is the only reason you've changed millions of people's lives with these breathing techniques.
Yes.
So can you talk about that?
When you are there alone with 4 children, with a woman you love, the love of your life, and she gets spirally into a out of control brain because hormonally it's not good what is happening, and the psychiatrists and therapists on her injections and pills and medicines, and it only got worse. How powerless I felt when I had to see her decline and ultimately jump from a 8th story down. That is beyond words, a broken heart, broken feelings, broken self-esteemed being because I couldn't do anything. I was powerless. And now, 25 or almost 30 years later, I am showing the psychiatrists how to tap into the deepest part of the brain, making people able, like next month, I begin a trial on people who want to commit suicide. And lots of them do. And I want to turn it around and show how easy it is being done. Consequently, simple and going for it. It was not there, and now I'm showing almost like a full circle travel, adventure, mission, that the powerless state I was, now I can empower people to not have their beloveds lost.
Do you think your breathing techniques could have helped your wife?
Oh yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Wow. And what happened to you after that? You went into a depressive state. What did you do? How did you keep from suicide yourself?
I had 4 children. So you can't even think a moment about taking your own life because you don't want to live. No, I had to survive for my kids. Yes, and I had to be energetic. I had no money. I had only love to give. And discipline. I was very disciplined. Every morning at 4 o'clock, I did my breathing. When all the children sleep, I was doing my breathing.
And you had discovered this breathing because you were always a very curious guy, right? You were always looking for ideas.
Yes. So much I did already before, but to reach to that consciousness of where we, with our contemporary problems, have no solution for. We got enormous building. I've been walking through London now from one side to the other because I had an appointment over there, and now I come here and I walk through London. Amazing buildings, amazing stuff going on, amazing. And then not being able to control our mind, not being able to control our emotion, and all the depression and inflammation going on in the world. I tell you, we found it, and I'll keep on. Before I pass over, I will be able to present a platform where people are able to make a non-dogmatic choice to be happy, strong, and healthy. And this time it's de-abstracted. Happiness is the control over the hormonal system. Health is the control over the immune system, and power, strength is control over your energy systems. And this I'm proving all in science. So there is no speculation about it. But mind, when penicillin was found, discovered, it took 20 years to get into mainstream. People like you and me now talking like this bring it into mainstream. That we actually are born with the capacity to become great human beings. And I say, own your own mind. And I'm showing now how tangible that is. It is only dependent on your choice. Now go back to understanding, and the understanding is you are on the threshold now, and it's your choice, non-dogmatically, to enter into the power of your own mind. Your brain is at your service, but what kind of decision are you making? Do you want to realize your dream state, your subconscious? You are born with that, but you're also born to make the subconscious, the dream, come true. And for that, you need to learn to neurologically expand. And I tell you, through these breathing techniques, you are able to change the chemistry. And with the chemistry, changes the neural activity. With the neural activity, and it all happens simultaneously, it changes the blood flow. With our modern way of thinking, 25% more blood flow goes to the profane neocortex, our thinking brain of daily life. Mm-hmm. We know this. But that means that 25% less goes in the rest of the brain. And that we learn with these techniques how to bring blood flow everywhere. And with that, the neural activity. And with that, the accessibility at human will to enter and to learn about what life really is all about.
Yeah.
And that is 100% control over our mind, over our soul.
How did you figure this stuff out, Wim? Or how did you perfect it?
First by a gut feeling, just feeling.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.